Hey everyone, it's been a while. As a lot of you guys know, we have entered into the epic era of season 3. During the off season, we were introduced with a lot of new runes for this season, and a lot of them fell in the epic and mystic era. I, of course, was playing around tinkering to see which new build I could play for the season, and luckily enough, I found one that I really enjoy. The build I'm about to show you is a good combination of attack and defense cards, and it really plays in a very unique style than what we've seen before. It's not all attack and it's not all defense. Hopefully from watching this build, you get new ideas of what is possible in this game, and I feel as more things are added, more and more new teams will rise up. With all that said, let's get started. So let's take a look at the runes and charms of this build. First off, as you can see, we're playing a sustain type of build. And you may be saying, Chuck Fresco, you don't play sustain, you play beast rage, like the last season we saw you. Unfortunately, the last 2 seasons we've seen a rise in AoE and Winghorn and how dominant they were the last few seasons. I really couldn't play my regular style, so I had to learn the sustain builds. So the first Axie we're looking at here is a mech. It's using the Epic Rune adaptive program right here, and it's really solid. It allows you to gain energy fragments really fast, but it does have a requirement that it needs a 99 shield from one single card, which, as we know in the game, there's not any cards that do 99 shield. But you can make it become 99 shield for a lot of these high defense cards by adding charms to them and also having buffs that can give you more shield. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But right here, what are the cards that it's using? It's using right here an Ant. Ant is a very good taunt in the game. It gives you armor, it gives you a little bit of everything, and it does armor for 2, it taunts for 2 or 4 turns, which allow your opponent not to target any other key Axies on your team. So Ant's one of the strongest cards in the game, I feel. Next up, we have Indian Star right here, basically one of the best armor cards in the game, or shield cards in the game. It allows you to shield up and return damage to your opponent based off of the damage they're giving your shield, which is very solid, almost a staple in a lot of the sustain builds. Next up, we have Scaly Spoon, and it has really high shield on the horn, which is very rare. There's very few options to get shield on the horn, but one of the best ones is this one. It's really good against things like birds and their feathers. I believe it's working more accurately now this season, which is a great thing. As far as the other cards that we see here, Lotus became very essential in the builds just because there's just so many curse builds, and Lotus is one of the best ones to remove curses. So definitely have to add one to your sustain builds as well. It has armor, which helps out a little bit. Pincer is one of the best mouths I feel for sustain because not only does it give all your teammates armor, if you add charms to it, like White Sage, you can actually remove debuffs from them, which is really good. And Poppy, it has natural retain, such a strong card, and it allows you to just be able to heal and add leaves to yourself, which is very solid. As far as the charms, right now I don't have all the best charms. It's still early in the season, but right here we have an endurance charm for the Ant. All endurance, you're trying to add the most endurance you can add to your defense cards right here, so they can fulfill the adaptive programming requirement of 99 or more than 99 shield. And as far as the other ones, I'm using White Sage, like I said, on the Pincer, just to be able to remove a bunch of debuffs from your allies, and as well as just getting some vitality. And in this case, I actually got an Ancient Root to really hold this card, because sometimes you don't need to use it, but sometimes you do. But an alternative for this one definitely is getting something like Bean's Blessing, which is a new charm for this season, and it really allows this card to not only remove 3 plus 1 more curse card based off of just that one. So, but right now, for the most part, I've been running just with the retain Ancient Root because I have enough PP to attach it. You need 4 plant, so keep that in mind. Next up, we got our midliner right here, and though it may look like a plant Axie, it's actually a Dawn Axie. And we're using Pure Skill, a very cheap rare rune right here, and we're only using it because it allows your other Axies shield cards to receive a 10% bonus. And as you guys know, with the 10% bonus, a lot of our shield cards are able to get past the 99 threshold on the other Axies, activating adaptive programs requirement. And as far as cards that we're going to use on this, Pupae definitely has been one of the best ones. It's really strong against AoE because it gives all of your Axie's cocoons if they manage to hit it enough. Really great card and almost feel like a staple in this current meta. Next up, we got Mint. Mint with a charm on it is so good. It allows you to not only put cleansers all over your team, it allows you to also cleanse as well if you have the charm. Very solid. It gives you armor. It gives you a little bit of everything. Very good against poison, against bleed, against any team that's trying to do all debuffs. This becomes a nightmare. As far as the horn, we're using the lagging right here. Very secret kind of card against other sustained teams or teams that don't really attack. And even with teams that do attack, you'll at least get usually one or two goos on it, but against sustained teams, you're going to get a lot of goo into their deck, slowing down their deck and their options, which is really solid for this. But it could be any other shield, high defense shield card for the horns. And like I said, there's not many options for that one. So lagging is one of the best ones right now. Next up, we got Innocent Lamb. This card is so good in the meta, so good in so many teams. Honestly, it's a staple. But basically, Innocent Lamb can be used to not only clone Mint, it could be used to clone Pupae, it could be used to clone Lagging. So depending on your needs per game, Innocent Lamb just allows you to just activate any of these throughout the game, which gives you such a good tool to use. The next two, it really depends on what you want to do. If you really want to counter poison teams, which I really needed to counter poison teams a lot, you want to get Silence Whisper. It was nerfed from last season. It now only applies for 3 turns, but believe me, if you Innocent Lamb into a Silence Whisper and get another one, you can stack its effect. So you do get the 6 like before, you just have to play 2 cards for it. As far as the charms for this Axie, very similar to the other Axie. We want to get as much endurance on the high shield cards, so we're putting endurance on those. Mint, if you have a Mint, try to get White Sage on it. It makes this card so much stronger, and it allows you a lot of protection against debuffs. And also the other things I would put on it is Vitality, and Faith. Right here I just put it just, I guess, because I had no other option, so I just placed that there. But as far as holding a card, you have 1 retain, you add an Ancient Rune, you get another retain. I got really lucky with my retain cards here, but you have to have enough points to use it. So always keep that in mind. But basically, trying to shield up and add HP or some sort of tech like being able to cleanse stuff is very vital for this middle Axie who's supporting the whole team. As far as our last Axie or closer, we're using a bug here, and this bug is very unique. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's using the Sturdy Fighter epic rune right here, and basically what it does, it consumes 25% of your current shield and deals bonus damage 3 times that amount. And this doesn't seem very strong in a lot of cases, but when you see the gameplay of it, you're going to see how strong this rune is. And it recently got buffs too, so when I was playing in the off season, I noticed those changes and I decided I'm going to try it out this season. It didn't work last season, but I'm going to try it this season. And what makes this bug Axie so unique, so I'm going to be showing you right here. Basically, for this build, you want an Axie that has a high shield, at least 2 high shield cards. In this case, definitely on the tail. You want it on the tail. You're going to be running Fish Snack. I wish there was another one like Twin Tail, but right now I'm going to be using this one. It has high shield, and the other one I'm using is a Scaly Spoon. So 2 cards that really are needed so they can actually activate this effect. But not only that, it has 2 cards that are not really used in the meta, but are very strong. One of them is Spiky Wing, and the other one is Beetle Spike. There's another one as well called Pliers, so you can really alternate if you can find parts that fit the other place better, but these are the ones I could find right now. And basically, both of these cards deal pure damage. And why is that good? Pure damage allows you to go straight through shield. So you're not affected by shield, you're not affected by a lot of things, and you're able to steal shield from them of 30% of whatever damage you did. So just imagine, you get Sturdy Fighter, you add 2 of these shields to yourself, then you attack with these 2. These 2 will be amplified significantly, like sometimes reaching 200 to like nearing 300 damage if you set up correctly. But there's one more reason why this Axie is amazing. It has the card Piranha, and Piranha usually is not that strong. It's just 50 damage and allows you to target, which is really good, closest or furthest. and then you're able to steal the HP of 40% unblocked damage. So unblocked damage means that you can't hit their shield. Like whatever's after the shield, that's what you steal. But just imagine, you're amplifying your damage a lot. You're adding shields to yourself. And when you hit with this, sometimes you hit up to 300, sometimes getting close to 350 damage with this card because of its ability to add some more damage. And you're going to see this in the gameplay. But these cards combined, pure damage, allow you to counter like decks that are all sustain, all shield. And this card, Piranha, allows you to counter builds that have no shield. Like they have no shield to protect themselves. So this punishes those kind of builds as well. And the last card is really Clear. That one can be whatever, but Clear does have some situations where it's actually very valuable and allows you to sift through your cards fast enough to get to them. And as far as the charms for this build, it's really simple. Basically like the other ones, you're trying to get as much endurance as you can. So you're putting it on this one, you're putting it on this one. On this one, there could be more options in the future, but the easiest one is just adding more attack power to it because it gets stronger the higher the damage it is. Vitality, of course, if you can use it. But these two slots usually are going to be definitely tech slots for this Axie. Right now I'm using Trickster just because that's what I was able to go, but later on I'm going to be playing Cocoon or even Retain cards like Sticky Tape to be able to hold them better through the game. But right now I'm playing with what I got, but really be on the lookout for the next era. This could be interchanged for a lot of things, more damage or whatever. But as far as it is, you're trying to just get endurance on these two cards to make adaptive programming work. So let's take a look at this team in action. So first off right here, we're playing against Zelizer, YGG. Sorry for the butchering, but basically, he's running a team that is already, even early on in the season, day 3, day 4, he already has 3 epic runes. So we're playing against a team with almost all epic runes. It's going to be an interesting matchup. He's running a very strong counter to my team. He's playing Leech, which basically drains your shield off your Axie and it steals it. This naturally should counter my team or most shield-based decks. But we're going to see that my team is a little bit different than most teams. And of course, he's just running all AoE, typical AoE player right here. Dawn, of course, he's playing the Healing Force, which allows him to keep his Robin alive and allows him to do other things. Of course, Innocent Lamb, Cottontail, the tried and true combo for all attacking builds almost. And Winghorn, as you guys noticed, Winghorn has been changed a little bit. It no longer triggers above 60%. It has to be below 50%. So it's pretty good for that. Not much of a change, which I find very interesting by the developer's choice, but we're going to see how this goes. Tri-Feather and go to different things. Basically, and right here he has Sacred Feather, which allows him to have 2 lives. Basically, if he dies once, he'll recover. And as always, just typical Tri-Feather, Grandma's Fan, Winghorn, all these cards are really strong combined together. Earwing, like this is the Quadfecta right here. And the other 2 cards, Pitaro to make him go faster in his energy fragment. So we're going to have to see, how does Chuck Fresco hold up to this team that should naturally defeat sustain teams? Let's take a look. So first off, he starts off with Tri-Feather. He's trying to raise up his feathers. Raises a lot of them. He got 2 hits on me, which is good for him. He already has a lot of stacks. I'm just going to play defensive. I'm going to try to get my energy fragments going. As you can see, I got to 6 right away, which is really solid right here. He's just going to play, let's see what he's going to play. Most likely he's going to play that. He's going to try to get his Robins out. So he Innocent Lamb the Robin right there. That does create a lot of problems for me because Robin gains damage as long as it's there, though the only negative is that it heals it, so it won't really die on its own. Here, of course, I'm just gonna try to get these going. Pupae allows me to get cocoons on everyone, adding shield to everyone, and as you can see, I'm already at 10 energy fragments right there. So his Axies naturally trigger my cocoon right there because of all their little damages that they have stacked. And so yeah, he's going all damage. You see, it's whittling little damage over and over. Nothing yet, but as the more you play Indian Star, the better it gets. So we got this one, of course. We're going to play another Pupae. We didn't get that great of a hand, so we pulled out the Clear right there. We want more ways to raise our energy. fragments. So as you can see, I got into the next energy level with those two cards. Pay put on this one as well. He's having a big trouble trying to kill this front Axie. If this front Axie doesn't die, then things like Winghorn won't be as useful, because all this armor that it has, it just creates a really bad situation. So he put a bird right here to most likely protect his Axie. 110. Do you see how much shield it's robbing from my Axie? It's ridiculous. And I just kill it right here, the Robin, just to set up for later. Definitely set up for later. I don't want him building up like that anymore. 132. He's stealing so much shield from my Axies, and he's attacking everyone. Duplicating the Robins actually doesn't prove to be that good, because it leads to turns like that where he doesn't have attack. But we're gonna see what happens. So I'm gonna put up my shield again and taunt to myself, also Indian Star to myself, so he's forced to play against me. I try to help out the back Axie a little bit to protect him from stuff, get rid of any of his Godas that he's playing, any of the voids he's trying to put into it, and he's forced to attack me. It's whittling down his HP little by little, and that's what you want to do. Try to keep this Axie alive if possible. Not always possible. There's some builds that just have a tremendous amount of damage, but the longer you keep him alive, the more energy fragments you're going to gain, and you're going to be able to get really way ahead of him. So here I'm just going to keep going defensively, trying to get to 5 energy and hopefully set up soon. His bugs still keep stealing from me. It's been a problem the whole game. He drew a lot of Winghorn this turn, but Winghorn's less effective when the taunt's up like that. It really doesn't work out the way he's thinking. He's trying to stack up. He has 10 stacks on everyone. He's whittling me down little by little. And we're going to see what happens next. My front Axie is almost dead right here, so we're going to see what we do. I decide to go after this Axie. You're going to see the beauty here. Two shields put up, 227 shield. We go in with the Beetle Spike. 230 damage straight through. Another 230 damage straight through. The bug is dead. The bug is gone. No more Leecher for him this game. He's in a lot of trouble now because he really needed that Leecher to keep me at bay. But now he's in a lot of trouble. This back actually has 10 cocoons right now. He's the end boss of the game. He's ready to take these guys on. And like they're going. They have daggers. They're trying to whittle it down as much as possible. They're trying to get to the back actually as fast as possible, because the more shield he's retaining, the more problems they're gonna have. Like he's literally getting ready to destroy both of them. And he has to get through like so many things. He has to get through still like 2 lives right here, of almost full HP Axie right here, and then a summon who's right here. Odds are I'm probably gonna still lose this game, but we're gonna see what happens. Unlucky for him, none of his things triggered my Axie right here. He would have gotten a little bit of damage, but I draw into 2 of these attack cards again, straight through armor. I'm just gonna add up all my shield up and then go in for an attack. 1 hit, 294 damage right there. Another hit, another 294. This Axie's gone. He's done to a one-on-one now. One-on-one, all shield on my Axie. He hits into me. I apply nothing to him, just get hurt. He's going more attacks on me. He's trying to use everything he has to whittle me down. But this Axie has been building up all game. He has different things. He has Cocoon. He has Leaf. He has everything you could want. Here I notice this is going to die next turn, so I'm going to shield up and go for the back Axie, hoping that I could kill it so it's down to 1 life. I go for it. Boom. 200. Not enough. He lives with 6 HP. He did not trigger his. He has 2 lives left, meaning I have to hit him twice to win this game. So he goes for the hits. He got weakened, so all of his attacks are down right now. He goes for that one. Not strong enough to trigger anything. His bird, Robin, dies because it's the end of the turn. And I need to draw 2 attack cards to win. And luckily for me, there they are. The deck is really thin at this point. Gonna go shield, go shield up. Zelizer's in trouble. YGG's in trouble. What's gonna happen? Oh, his extra life is done. 213 damage. It's over for this game. Victory goes to me. And as you can see, it's a strong build even against attacking builds. So that was my sturdy destruction team. One thing I noticed about season 3 is really the devs trying to add new ways for us to play different classes. With the introduction of new charms and runes for this season, it really added more to the complexity of classes. Honestly, it was a great feeling building this build over the off season, grinding it out, fine-tuning it, and really finding the right Axies that work with it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much. Anyways, that ends it for this video. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time.